Här sitter jag med Angie Stone. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. You're about to perform at Barnes here tonight. How do you feel about performing live?
Oh, I love performing live. I love coming here to perform live, especially. Such a very responsive audience, and just been having a great time overseas.
You were here last summer. So did you like the Swedish audience?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what do you like the most about performing live?
I just think the energy, the ability to be able to express my music and, you know, do my thing outside of the recording studio and have fun, stretch things out a little and, you know, get a lot of audience participation, that kind of stuff.
So what can you expect from an Angie Stone concert?
Pretty much what you hear is what you get. I try to stay true to the albums that I've recorded. I like to, you know, touch on the old stuff as well as the new stuff. So being that The Art of Love and War is just out, I'm going to be doing a few songs from that album as well as Mahogany Soul and some of the other stuff.
Nice. Let's talk about The Art of Love and War. Tell me about that album.
I recorded it in Marvin Gaye's studio, and I'm very excited about that. It's a self-expressive album. I think it kind of speaks from the changes I've been through to where I've come to today. The album embodies a lot of freedom.
Let's talk more about it. It's produced in Stax Records, that's right? And same
I
as
recorded
Marvin
it
Gaye's
at I recorded it at
company.
Stax, you know, where Otis Redding and Isaac Hayes, to name a few, recorded at, and we relaunched the label. So I'm the first artist to come out on the new Reform Stax. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Must be exciting, yeah. And Marvin Gaye is a big inspiration for you?
Well, I love his spirit. I loved what he stood for. He was a true musician. He really didn't get caught up in the hype and, you know, the goings-on of the industry. He kind of did things his way.
Like you?
Yeah, definitely.
And how is this new album different from your earlier works?
Like I said, it's not to say that I'm not growing as an artist, but, you know, I'm just Angie Stone. I do what I do. I don't set out to make a greater album every time. I set out just to make a consistent record. Everyone wants to do great, and you want each hit to be bigger than the next. But I think when you're true to your art form, your music art form, you're going to get what you're going to get. It's certain people that record, you know, when Aretha Franklin sings, you're going to get Aretha Franklin. It really doesn't matter what she sings as long as she embodies the gift, you know, that we're so used to hearing.
Right. And as earlier artists, like, do you find any artists singing right now that are like that?
Oh, there's quite a few artists that are like that. Some are bigger stars than others, but when you hear Anthony Hamilton, you know what you're gonna get. When you hear D'Angelo, you know what you're gonna get. When you hear Lauryn Hill, you know what you're gonna get. Or Jill Scott, you know what you're gonna get. So Indie is pretty consistent. So there are quite a few artists, in my opinion, that are very true to the art form.
Right. And on the album, you find the hit song "Baby."
Uh-huh.
What's that song about?
Well, I wrote that song the last minute. It was the last song that I recorded on the album. And I have a way of doing that, you know, on my way out, making a big hit record. It's like "Wish I Didn't Miss You" was the last song on the last album, which was pretty good. I asked my friend Betty Wright to join me on the song, and she said yes. And the song has been a huge success worldwide. So that song is basically about the typical situations where you're involved with someone, you make them over or you groom them to be better than they were, and once they get where they're going, they kind of forget about you. Bye-bye.
Right. And the video, tell me about that.
Okay, the video concept, my good friend Mike Epps and Eva Pickford joined me on the video, and basically it expresses the song like, you know, here we are again, starting out with nothing, then you get lucky, you get something, and for a brief moment you forget about me until the truth comes out. And when the truth comes out that, you know, this has been the backbone behind you, then you scoot on back home. And you know, we typical women often take the men back, but in this situation, I was doing it just to show just how repetitive women and men can be. Yeah. It's a vicious circle.
Yeah, I like the video.
Thank you.
I was really like, oh,
Thank
fuck
you.
him.
I know, right?
You go, girl.
Yeah.
Do you write about things you experience yourself?
Sometimes I do, and then a lot of the experiences are other people's, because Angie Stone is like Dear Abby. in music. You know, a lot of women and men come to me for advice, and because I can feed off of their situations, I often can write the song about a situation. Like the song "Here We Go Again" on the album is about someone else. It's not about me. It's about their situation. I saw it over and over again. A young man by the name of Harold Lilly wrote a song with me because he heard me on the phone going over this incident with someone that I used to be in love with. And he wrote a song called Different Directions for me. And then I said, well, what made you write it? He said, well, you know, I heard you on the telephone. And I just realized that you two guys, you know, are crazy about each other, but you're going in different directions.
Right. And you're not afraid to get too personal.
I don't know. I think what made Marvin Gaye a superstar is that he talked about the things that he could most relate to. And as a result, people began to feel his spirit and the soul of his music.
Right. And you're a soul queen. How do you feel about the soul and R&B industry today?
Well, I'm a traditional artist. I like to stick to the roots of traditional music. A lot of people color their stuff up with the new age sound, and that's great. But I think I'm probably one of the few that are keeping it traditional. I really, really believe in the music that I do, and I feel the music that I do. I'm able to better express it live because it comes from a very real space. I don't knock anybody for doing what they do because everybody has their own niche, and I have mine.
Yeah. And how have you changed since the first album until now?
Well, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot more about the business. I've realized that no matter what, you're not going to be able to please every single solitary person. And I think my aim and direction has always been to please everyone. And I think growing as an individual, I've learned that no matter what I do, I can't please everybody. So I have to be happy with myself.
That makes me think of something I read about you and Alicia Keys happening last year, I think it was. What was the deal there? You felt like you became a mentor for her, and then you didn't feel like that, or?
Oh, no. Alicia is one of my, I won't say the word protege, but I admire and respect her ability to do great music. I think it's within the label, both of us being on the same label. I'm getting older, and then a younger artist is coming along, and the company kind of, pushes you to work with an artist so that the artist can learn from you. And as a result, we ended up working so close together, both moving over to J Records at the same time. And there was an issue where I entitled my album Diary of a Soul Sister, which was just about done. And then they told me I couldn't use the title because Alicia was going to do Diary of Alicia Keys. It kind of changed the whole perception of my album because everybody knows that I do everything with the title first. So I had to change my album title and the concept to Stone Love. And it was nearing the end of the project. So I was a little upset because I work consistently from a derivative. It's like the art of love and war. When I started, before I can start an album, I have to have a theme.
Yeah.
And if that theme is interrupted, then you're already going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel? Did you feel like you were pushed aside a little bit?
Well, I just felt like what it was. It's favoritism. It's a younger artist. It's a bigger, broader opportunity for them to reach more people and sell more records. And at the end of the day, the integrity of the music gets lost. Instead of saying, look, we have one of the best R&B singers that's been around forever, and we have someone new. Let's embrace them both together and show people that we're consistent in what we do, as opposed to let's make one and cancel the other out. The irony of this is when I left J Records, Alicia Keys and I both topped the charts at #1 at two different labels. My album entered the charts at #1, and her single No One entered at #1. So there you have two faces, Angie Stone and Alicia Keys. There, not that I'm competing, but it had to make them feel kind of crazy to see, wow, we let her go and she's got a #1 album.
Yeah, and you can both be #1.
We can both be #1. Yeah, exactly.
So you don't blame Alicia for it. You're still good
friends.
friends.
No. I actually went. Alicia called me, flew me to New York to go over her album with her and write some material and listen to her album and basically, what do you think? Because what you think means so much to me. And I told her I thought it was brilliant. I respected the fact that she's growing, and Alicia is now moving away from following, you know, any lead that the label gives her and kind of doing her own thing. And the album that I heard was very reminiscent of Janis Joplin, and I was really impressed.
Yeah. You should bring her to your record label now.
Oh.
Yeah. She's be on the same one.
Mm-hmm.
All
well,
right.
Alicia and I generally, when we're in LA, we look for each other and we hang out but for an hour or two. We just have an immense amount of respect, and I blame her for absolutely nothing. I think she's young, she's coming up, she's going to be, you know, go down in history. And I'm just happy that she crossed paths with me.
That's cool.